Why you should play BattleRite is today's video topic, and I'll be breaking down the reasons why this game is definitely worth a try. It's almost become its own meme now that people are talking about BattleRite in Paladins videos and social media, and no, this isn't a childish response to all of the drama in Paladins. They really are very different games. It's simply that it's a fun game and has a very minimal time commitment, so it could even be a game you just chill and blast through 4 matches before your dinner's finished cooking, or a small break between your main game or games. So what exactly is BattleRite, you may very well ask? Well, in short, it's a MOBA. However, take out the grinding and items of the modern MOBA big boys, and what you have left is the intense brawls that happen in between. Add in only skill shots and you have something that resembles more of a top-down shooter than your LoLs and Dotas too. Not only that, but as I've said, for me, the biggest draw is added to the intensity of the action in the shortness of the matches. You have 1 life and only 1 each round, and it's a best of 3 rounds. Add to that on the 2-minute mark, a deadly ring makes the map smaller and a battle royale, and that is even if you make it to that point. And eventually it'll close into a minuscule size, but actually I haven't had this happen to me in one of my matches yet, since I played the closed beta and came back to it. There are lots of reasons why these short matches are so refreshing. I remember going from Dota with sometimes over an hour matches when they are long, to Paladins with sometimes 20-minute matches, feeling like it was refreshing at that time, but even that got quite frustrating. Now I'm here with matches, even long ones, only lasting around 10 minutes. There is so little time to rage. Even if the matchmaking throws you a curveball and it is a stomp either side, you only have a few minutes of, well, this sucks. And it's over. You can brush yourself off and just re-queue. Anecdote time, I was playing a game and we went 0-1 down and a guy raged at me for playing badly. I did say it was my second time on a certain champion, but the turnaround meant we went 3-1 in like 5 minutes, and he apologized at the end. You don't usually see people be able to wrangle their rage back around in full-length MOBA matches or things like Paladins or Overwatch. Probably they either quickly quit or give some sass at the end of the match, even if you did win. The actual time commitment is contained in learning the champions in the game, which are slightly more complex than other MOBAs and hero shooters, as a lot of champions have 5 normal abilities, 3 almost mini ultimates, and then an actual big ultimate. I'm not going to lie, I currently don't know all of the champions and how to react, and especially don't know exactly when to use those special abilities over the ultimates, as it does take your charge away from your ultimate. Sometimes things like last-hit shields might save you, and it makes sense, and others seem very situational, but by no means is this a bad thing, it just means there's a skill ceiling worth getting a ladder to try and climb towards. The game's cast also seems generally great and, well, they have Elias Ainsworth from Ancient Magus Bride. Sure, he's in more of his thorny state, but how can you beat that? I'm just kidding, but damn, I suck with that character Thorn. He has interesting abilities, but seem at least that you need to combo them to, well, really pull him off. You ensnare with your E, then you pull them back with your Q, and then you finish them off with your happy claws. I just seem to either get silenced, or always miss step 1, or they'll move between step 2, which is the claw that pulls people towards you. But the idea of comboing is inherent with a lot of the champions, and can definitely be something fun to learn. For my Paladins followers, there are champions that play extremely alike to ones in BattleRite. Blossom not only can single target heal, AoE place heal, invincibly dodge, and stun, but also loves animals. Sure, she has a pet bird rather than a snake, but you can take a lot of the skills across from here that you've learnt from Aldamba. I mean, hero shooters basically take RPG abilities into the shooter realm, and MOBAs into the top-down arenas, so it does make sense, but could definitely be something worth checking out if you're feeling a little lost. It is a bit easier to sit back and toss constant heals before really getting stuck in. I don't think there's anything truly groundbreaking in the character cast, but in context of other MOBAs and hero shooters, they all look good and the voice acting is pretty top-notch. Today I learned ProZ voices one of the characters Sirius. What? Awesome though. Also in gameplay, abilities all work, are fun, you have your dodges, dashes, stuns, fears, silencers. One of the more interesting abilities a lot of the characters have is a counter. When an enemy player hits you, it activates the counter, activating a special attack or reflecting enemies' attacks. I fail at maybe 98% of these, but using these adds another level of skill. Also, there's the ability to cancel your own abilities as they're being cast in the game, so it's always like a cat and mouse trying to counter or cancel at exactly the right moment. This game is good looking, animations and everything going on are beautiful, giant fish jumping out of the water, a wall of contorting thorns, meteorites, and everything else going on in the match. Importantly, how is the free-to-play nature of this game? Is there any pay to win? very important questions I ask myself. The only thing gameplay related behind a grind is the champions themselves. Whilst I can't say I totally grasp the balancing of certain champions at the moment being new, what I can gather from playing is that most seem to be balanced. And from what people tell me, the more expensive champions in the game are often the ones more complex to play, or simply the newest ones. Again, it's quite early for me, but grinding the currency to unlock the champions doesn't seem too difficult. It might just be that the grind's accelerated when you start the game, but you do it mostly through achievements, quests, daily quests, and bigger quests. And also you get some of the currency in your matches. There are also loadouts in the game which I didn't talk about before, as I want to talk about them now, as these are all free once you unlock the champion. They basically add effects to each of the abilities, buffing them slightly, allowing you to react to certain champions that come out of the matchmaking. Although I've not exactly delved much into this apart from googling good loadout for X and just blindly adopting it. But it does have that level of customization even for a single champion. If you do want to say hell no to the grind altogether, it'll cost you £23.79 in the UK, an extremely reasonable price I'd say, about half a AAA game, so if you really are into it, you can go that route. And I haven't got too much into the loot chests, but they are only for cosmetics. The paid chests can give you duplicates, but from what I understand it only happens if you own them all. There isn't direct purchasing with cash, but you can buy certain skins from tokens that you get in the chests. I've actually ground out a lot just playing freely, and you do get quite a bit of free stuff, or at least I am at this early stage. There's even big quests where you can get a big item. There's a dinosaur mount in there if you played 65 games the last time I checked, and this is usually a paid item. It's quite generous. And as skins go, well, they all look pretty good. So in general, it is quite a generous grind model, and the free-to-play element seems solid. The only other downsides I've come across really are that first, the casual matchmaking seems to be quite loose, but that's often the perception when you're quite new to games. I really don't know the meta or real deep tactics, so I'm not playing my best. But at the very least, if there is a match that is a stomp, it will be extremely short-lived, and you can hope for a better one on the next roll. The other downside is I've had quite a few matches where people have left mid-game and the enemy team is just forfeit. Again, the game is even shorter then if they forfeit, but it's kind of confusing that they do that when the games are so short anyway. It's not exactly been super regular, but it has happened a few times. About a year ago, I actually made a review for BattleRite in closed beta and was extremely positive, and I stand by a lot of what I said back then, and whilst it has changed, including the shift to free-to-play, it's definitely still up there. So whilst it might not be a replacement for a hero shooter, it really is a different game. With Paladins, there are some parallels, but the customization in loadouts isn't quite as deep, but on the flip side, the champion ability sets are quite a bit more complex. At the very least, this game has almost no time commitment, and I'd say if you're remotely interested in these games, then give it a shot. I've certainly been having a lot of fun. Also, it may very well be a game I could run more regularly on my channel, and I'll try and do a Blossom video very soon, as she is so familiar to play. So what does everybody else think? Has anyone else been playing? Should I do more? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Joshino.